Less than 30% of data transformation initiatives deliver measurable value. So what are CDOs actually getting wrong?
They're solving an engineering problem when they actually have a sociology problem. You can have Snowflake, Databricks, a beautiful lakehouse architecture, and still have analysts whose insights never leave a PowerPoint deck.
But CDOs are hired to build data infrastructure. Why is culture suddenly their job?
Because data doesn't create value sitting in a platform. It creates value when a supply chain manager at 7-Eleven trusts a demand forecast enough to act on it, or when a finance director at Unilever challenges a budget assumption because the data tells a different story. Without behavioral change, the technology is just expensive storage,
So where does the culture failure actually show up first?
almost always in the middle layer, senior managers. The C-suite signs the strategy, the analysts do the work, but middle management is where data-driven decisions either get adopted or quietly ignored. They feel threatened by models that second-guess their experience.
How do you move managers who've operated on gut instinct for 20 years?
You don't attack the instinct, you augment it. At Marriott, when they rolled out revenue management analytics, they didn't tell general managers their judgment was obsolete. They showed them how the model performed against their own decisions historically, let them see the delta, and gave them override capability. Adoption jumped because autonomy was preserved.
What about organizations that don't have that kind of legacy trust to build on?
Then you manufacture early wins deliberately. Pick one business unit, one decision, one metric. Domino's did this with delivery time optimization. Not a glamorous use case, but it was visible, measurable, and affected people's daily bonuses. Once managers saw their performance scores improve, the resistance dropped significantly.
You mentioned trust. How do data leaders actually build credibility with the business side?
Stop speaking in data vocabulary. I've seen CDOs lose a boardroom in 60 seconds by leading with data lineage or model accuracy percentages. Start with the business outcome. At ING, their chief data officer reframed every data initiative around a customer metric: churn reduction, approval speed, fraud loss. Same technology, completely different conversation.
What's the single biggest structural mistake companies make when designing their data organization?
Centralizing everything too fast. You create a bottleneck, the business units feel like they've lost control, and they build shadow analytics teams in Excel. A federated model with central governance, what Gartner now calls data mesh principles, keeps accountability close to the domain while enforcing shared standards. Spotify and JP Morgan both use variants of this for exactly that reason.
Final question. One thing a senior leader listening right now can do this week to shift the culture trajectory?
Find one decision that was made this month using data and publicly recognize it in a leadership meeting. Not the analyst who built the model, the executive who acted on it. You reinforce the behavior you want to see, and culture follows recognition faster than it follows strategy decks.